r/MaliciousCompliance. Work tried to punish me, it backfired. Back in maybe 2006 to 2008-ish, I was a tax associate at the most well-known tax service in North America. I did very well in the class you take, which determines your eligibility to be hired as well as teaching you how to do taxes, and was hired. I bounced from office to office as newbies do, and I was doing well enough that I was always the first to be called if a shift needed to be covered. After my first season with them went so well, I was invited back for the next year, and the class was free because of the invitation back. In case you wonder why the class is every year, it's because tax rules change every year, and we have to keep up. Shortly after the class was over, which I aced, I was approached by the lady who ran the district. She wanted to open a seasonal office in a Walmart 50 kilometers outside the city I worked in. She wanted me as a primary associate there, in part because I'd done so well in the previous year, in part because I'd aced the class, in part because of my background in security, and in part because I lived 20 kilometers closer to this Walmart than anyone else on staff. I wasn't to be a manager, but I was going to be the only full-time to the power of one associate. I'd open and close almost every day, and often be the only associate on site. It was basically my baby to take care of. There were hints it might lead to advancement in the company as well. I was pretty excited at the opportunity. At first everything was great. The Walmart staff liked me, the customers liked me, my boss liked me. I was blasting through customers. Only maybe 5 people walked away due to having to wait, out of the few hundred who approached my little office, beside the produce section. 2 months in, right before the tax season really heated up, I had a weekend I'd booked off the same day they'd hired me. I was going out of the province to see family. Trip had been set long before they hired me, and I'd made it quite clear I wasn't going to be around. The schedule accurately reflected that. So the weekend arrives and I go. Had a good time, came home Monday evening so I could be back Tuesday morning. When I got home I checked my answering machine for messages, even if smartphones were starting to be a thing. I didn't have one, and I'm pleased to say I still don't. There were 3 messages. 2 from my boss, the district lady, and 1 from the scheduler. I don't remember everything word for word, so I'll paraphrase. Message 1, Saturday morning approximately 7 a.m. Hi Vanaja, sorry to do this to you, but we need you in today. Employee X, who we scheduled to replace you's car broke down. Message 2, Saturday afternoon approximately 2 p.m. I'm very disappointed in you for not responding to me and not showing up. I'll be making some changes. Message 3, Monday morning approximately 9 a.m. Hi Vanaja, this is scheduler, your hours have changed this week, call me when you get this. Now at this point in my life I'm not a kid out of high school, and I've had enough experience with screw jobs that I'm absolutely not going to crawl on my hands and knees apologizing and begging for my job. If you're going to be petty and mean just because you quacked up, then we're going to have problems. And so we did. I called the scheduler and was told I was suspended for a week and to call my boss after a week to get back on the schedule. She said the boss was trying to put me in my place and teach me how to be a good manager. I'd get back on the schedule after the week was over. I brought up my pre-planned and scheduled time off, and also that I wasn't a manager, I was a regular employee. The scheduler was very uncomfortable, but she was only doing what she was told. They did need me, she said, just call boss in a week. I said sure, and then didn't. I was furious, and I wasn't the one who was going to be put in her place. I called a few of the customers who I'd been working with and explained I was no longer working there, and they chose to keep me as their tax gal regardless. It really wasn't intended as revenge, even though it sounds that way. The company wasn't going to make more than it cost to have someone do their taxes anyway. This was purely a customer relationship thing. I like to finish what I start. The real revenge was accepting my suspension. The entire week I was suspended, I made sure to stop in at the Walmart to see if I knew who they scheduled for my shift, and if we were friendly then help them out with the quirks of this location. But there was never anyone there. I confirmed with the Walmart staff, all week they had no one working there. paying Walmart to rent space and getting nothing but a bad reputation for it because the heavily advertised new location had 0 employees. It remained that way for the rest of the season. 2 months. The boss never called me and I never called her. Pride. I have no idea how it impacted her professionally. I stayed far away from taxes ever since. I got another job before my suspension was over and never looked back. ETA, full-time associate for the location does not mean actual full-time hours position. My apologies, I should have made that more clear originally. This office was open 4 hours on weekends and 6 hours on weekdays, so I wasn't a full-time employee.
They suspended you because someone else's car broke down. Definition of quack around and find out. I only wish you'd looked up her boss and told them how she shut down a profitable location out of, I don't even know what to call it.
Realistically, yes, technically I was suspended for no call, no show. There's a lot of things I wish I'd done differently over the years, but honestly this isn't one. The effort required to get more out of it than I did would have exceeded the reward, and I didn't have the time.
Can't be no call, no show if you weren't even scheduled. That's all bullquack retaliation.
Hence my fury. LOL, it was still just a seasonal position at the time though. Even if I'd fought and won, it would only have been 2 months more employment. And then I simply wouldn't be invited back again. I feel I made the right choices in this particular work conflict.
As people like to say, don't threaten me with a good time. The manager probably blamed it all on you, so I doubt it affected her much professionally. On the positive side, her bonus likely took a beating. Glad you got out of there.
Years ago I got a week suspension for being 5 to 10 minutes late regularly. Understandable, I get it. Told my boss I understood and no hard feeling. When suspension was up I'd make sure I was on time. That week was great. GF and I got to spend a lot of time together. Got to go to a rave that overlapped with my normal schedule. Going back in after that week I found out another employee had cracked the bed hard and my boss was told by owners that she couldn't call me in to cover the shifts because I was suspended. She had to work all the other employees' shifts as well as her own. I teasingly told her how great my week was every day for almost a month.
The best revenge really is living well.
Darius Rucker said it, so you know it's true.
None requires a haircut every week or get expelled. Sure thing. This is my husband's story from high school. Let's call him Phil. Phil attended a private Catholic school from kindergarten through graduation. He was, and still is, a long-haired hippie. All was well until his senior year when a new nun became principal. She was offended by this boy's long hair. She was also warned by some of the other teachers, nuns, not to get into it with him because no doubt he will win. Phil and his father meet with the principal and offer a solution of wearing a wig so he doesn't have to cut his hair. The nun says no way. What if other kids decide to do that? Nun insists that he get his hair cut or he will be expelled. Father says okay. He will get his hair cut every week. And we will provide receipts. Will that suffice? Nun agrees. Cue malicious compliance. Phil's dad takes him to the beauty shop, says cut as little as humanly possible off his hair. Hairdresser is all, why not just have me provide a receipt and not cut? Well, that wouldn't fly, because they're going to be totally honest about the whole thing. A cut every week with a receipt. The hairdresser proceeds to do a haircut every week, just a trim, mind you, and provides a receipt. The nun has no recourse. Phil graduated with longer and healthier hair than he started the year with.
Joke I saw on TV. Santa was asked, "Why aren't you using our company razor we paid you to endorse? You still have a full beard." Santa responds, "You didn't say where I had to shave."
The true story behind the fame of Santa's sack.
Santa's red sack.
Santa's overflowing red sack.
I would have saved the cuttings and delivered them to the principal every Monday.
This. You get the receipt in the bag. Have fun. Laugh my quack off.
Great dad, having his kids back, that way. My sister-in-law was the same way. Her daughter went to that same school and was sent to the office for cursing. Sister-in-law says to the nun, what exactly did she say? Nun reluctantly repeated what the niece said and the context in which it was said. Sister-in-law says she used it in proper context and used proper grammar. I don't see the issue here. Niece might have gotten an in-school suspension, but she did not, much to the nun's dismay, get in trouble with her mom.